You are now tuned in to Tear Down and Rebuild. Welcome to the Tar Pit. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tar Pit. So it's your girl, Ella D, and I've been gone for a little bit, but I am back. And, because of everything that's going on with the coronavirus and everybody being so scared, I wanted to talk about health and also talk about being respectful towards others. I saw some things that really bothered me, like the fact that there were people going to grocery stores and hoarding groceries and hoarding food, but there were elderly people who were literally in tears because they couldn't get out to the stores like other folks could, and they could not pick up groceries as fast, and things were being snatched like right in front of them. And it's like, come on, people. Honestly, with that behavior, karma is a real thing, and you're gonna mess around and get the coronavirus with a house full of food. Like, we have to still be respectful, and a lot of people are in panic mode instead of really thinking logically and rationally. And I know it's hard to do that, but at the same time, you have to. And we do what we typically do as Americans. We go into a mindset of, well, it's me against the rest of the world, and I got to look out for myself. But if we had gone to the store and maybe stocked up a little bit more than you normally would, of course, back in the day, my grandmama used to shop for an entire month in advance, just to make sure that if anything happened, well, I'm from Buffalo, so snowstorms can happen at any given time, but in case anything happened, there was always stuff in the house for at least a month and a half. I'm watching people buy up enough food and toilet paper to last for the next 6 months. It's a pandemic, but we haven't reached the end of days point. So I just think it was a bit excessive, especially when there are elderly people in your neighborhood. There are families with children in your neighborhoods, and they've got to feed their children. These people have to feed their children. The elderly people have to feed themselves. Like, we have to think about others just a little bit. Not only that, but when you're wiping out grocery stores and they have a hard time trying to restock their shelves, you're starting to mess with them as well as a business. And that trickle down effect is a mean thing. So just be more mindful when you're out and about trying to do things, if you're out and about, because I'm really all about social distancing and staying in your house as much as you possibly can until this is over and done with. I just watched a young lady from back home who found out that she has it. And she was like, had shut down her business and was practicing social distancing and staying in her house well before it was even announced to do so, because she works with children and she wanted to be careful. Well, she ran to the grocery store just to get her a few things from the grocery store, went and got some gas in her car, went home. She has it. And other than those couple of runs, she hasn't been out of her house. So you still have to be careful and really pay attention. If you're going to be out getting groceries, make sure that you're washing your hands. Make sure that you have your mask on. If you're getting your groceries delivered, which is what I do, they now have it set up to where you can have them deliver your groceries and leave them on your porch. And once they're gone, make sure you've got, some cleaner, and you clean everything up as it's coming into the house. Throw away the plastic bags outside. Make sure you wear gloves until you have everything in. Like, there's a way to do it to where you can stock your house. You don't have to overdo it, and you can still keep your home safe. Now, with that being said, I also want you to understand that elderly people are at high risk. People whose immune systems are not so strong are at high risk. And there were a lot of people in stores who were, elbowing and fighting over food and toilet paper, and I don't know what the weird run on toilet paper was. I mean, it's like the flu. I don't know why toilet paper of all things is the one thing that sold out even before food did, but whatever. Um, but some of you who are out and about and shopping may even be carriers but not even get sick. You're actually causing more of an issue for people who are immunosuppressed or elderly people. Like, let's kind of ease back on wanting to be out in crowds and bum rushing and grabbing folks and touching folks. And you definitely don't want to be out in a grocery store and decide to slap somebody because they grabbed the last roll of toilet paper off the shelf. Like, that's just ridiculous. So again, just be careful while you're out there. Look out for yourself, but also look out for others, because this isn't going to be just a that person thing or that person thing. This is most certainly going to be an us thing. And now that you're at home and you're in the house with those kids that you couldn't wait to send off to school, and you're in the house with that man that, I love him, but I really need to get away from him. Like, now is a good time for everybody to start sitting down, spend some time with your family, talk, all the stuff that you hate doing, and maybe reflect a little bit more on yourself and on your current situation and on your life, and really think about where your life is headed right now and what is it that you want to do with it. When you're no longer here, what did you want your life to say about you? That business you've been talking about, start working out that plan and putting it in motion. I deal with daily an amazing group of Black women who are business owners, who are all out here grinding daily to try to build their businesses. And a lot of them have been brought to a screeching halt because of all of this, but they're still promoting, they're still doing, they're still saying, listen, I'm going to have to move this until 6 months from now, but I'm going to move it. And I still want you to come out, and I still want you to support. You'll see them all over my Facebook page. I'm constantly putting them out there. I have a radio station that is going to start going live in a week. And as a part of my live radio shows, I'm going to be shouting out every single show to small businesses so that you get to know their names. You get to know their products. Let's start, showing some love to the smaller businesses. Nike didn't start off as Nike. We all have to grow from somewhere. Not only that, but, even if you don't want to go and shop and show love to the smaller businesses, start one. If that's what you would rather do. Like, we were built on small business. Let's get out here and really do something with this time. Make the time count. You've been meaning to start working out, so do it. You've been meaning to gain weight, do that. Like, I don't know what your goals are, but I mean, as long as you have one, go chase after it. I mean, you're in the house. What else are you gonna do? Might as well do something productive with it. Right now I'm trying to get some things together around my own house. I'm trying to run this radio station to make sure my podcast is up and make sure I'm promoting my business. And, we're out here. I'm writing, and I've actually been putting together beats. I have like an entire EP that should be coming out soon. Like, I just started doing stuff and being blessed with so many avenues where I can get myself out there. And even though there's a few things that I can't quite do the way that I want to because of what's going on right now, I'm still, kind of building up around that. So when all of this clears, those very things that I had to shelf a little bit, they're coming back with a vengeance, and I will be prepared to go ahead and release those things. So for some of you, it's go ahead and get started. And for some of us, it'll be, getting prepared. And just as long as this time is productive, the time that you're going to be spending at home, make it productive, spend time with your families, make some decisions. Now, I'm not saying make life-changing decisions to where it's like, I've spent 7 days in the house with you people and I don't like you, so I'm going to be leaving my kids and my man. Like, don't jump ship. But Unless, of course, that's something you've been thinking about for a while and this just solidified it for you. I can't tell you how to run your house. But let's not go too extreme. And then all of a sudden, 5 years from now, when you upset because your life fell apart, you want to blame it on Corona and that one crazy chick on the podcast who told you should just go. No, I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is really think about where you are right now and where you want to be, and then make the best decision to get to where you want to be. Don't sit stagnant and then start crying because you stuck in the house and you don't have nothing to do and you're bored and all you can do is eat chips all day long. I mean, I love chips more than the average person, but there are other things that need to be done other than sitting and snacking. Now, with that being said, let's move on to today's topic, and we are talking about health and health conditions. The reason why I wanted to bring that up while talking about this because I am one of those people who has an autoimmune condition. I have something called multiple autoimmune syndrome, and that is when your body has anywhere from 3 to 4 autoimmune conditions or more in your body at one time, and they rotate. So, when I was about 11 or 12, I was actually diagnosed with having rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile arthritis. And because something that I learned as an adult is, even as an adult, I have to always tell people that I have juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. So, because they look at it different when they know you've had it since you were a child. So, diagnosed very young with that. And then when I was about 14 or 15, maybe even 16, now that I think about it, I was diagnosed with lupus, systemic lupus erythematosus. Hopefully I said that right. But I ended up being diagnosed with lupus when I was, like I said, about probably 16, which kind of freaked me out because at the time, and for people who don't know, I'm 46 now. At the time that I was diagnosed, that's 30 years ago. And 30 years ago, I wasn't hearing really much about lupus anywhere. And after my diagnosis, I kept hearing weird things like Mark of the Wolf and all this. And I was like, what in the world is this? And then my liver was going to fail and I wasn't going to make it. And I had to really do some research and I started crying. My family was crying. Like, it was a whole mess because we didn't know what was going to happen. All of a sudden, we were seeing people dying on television. You know how when you've never heard of something and then as soon as you hear about it for the first time, you start seeing it everywhere. And we were seeing people dying of liver failure and all types of stuff just all over the place. And I'm like, whoa, this is the end of me. And they were rotating medications trying to see what will work. And I was having this problem. I was having that problem. Then I ended up with a kidney infection. And they were like, that's it. This is about to be the end. And they could not get rid of it. They could not do anything about it. And then I started having these rashes, these horrific rashes, and I developed an allergy to my own hair. And I had to have my hair cut completely short. And I remember I had gotten braids, and we were going on vacation that year. And I was so upset because my cheeks from where my hair had been hanging on my face were completely raw. And we were traveling, and when you travel with my grandparents, although there's enough food in the van to feed a small country, my grandfather gets tired of eating like fried chicken and cheese and stuff. So we'll stop at a restaurant and usually have either breakfast or lunch or something like that. So we had stopped at, I want to say it was a Cracker Barrel. And while we were in Cracker Barrel, we had already sat down and gotten our food. And I don't know, we were like halfway through eating and I just started crying. And everybody felt so bad because it was like there was nothing they could do. And they were like, are you in pain? Because nobody ever really understood what was happening with me, including myself. And they were like, does something hurt? What's going on? And